The Nikki Glaser Podcast. The Nikki Glaser Podcast.
Here's Nikki. Oh, I didn't hear the sound on my end, but here I am. Hi, I'm Nikki. It's the show. Welcome to it.
Oh, I know why. Because I didn't put it in live mode. I bet you hear it now.
Oh, there it is, kicking in. Hey guys, I'm Nikki Glaser. Welcome to the show. It's the Nikki Glaser Podcast.
Yeah. What are you smirking about? You had a smirk on.
I know.
Some kind of mischievous smirk.
I just got a DM from Chris that's like a private thing, but it was just like, this was us, and it was, I just saw what the video is. I already know what the video is. It's a very intense clip from Seventh Heaven, and we had a therapy session today, or yesterday, a couples therapy session where things got tense, and he just sent this. We haven't really talked about it. Like, you get off these couples, if you don't live together, which we do, but he's in LA right now. When you get done with couples therapy, you just like say bye and you log off, and then you what do you do? Like, usually you walk out together and you like hug in the parking lot and you go, that was really good, or you talk in the elevator, and like then you go home and you kind of like, but when you're in separate places, you're just kind of like, can we just leave that there? I don't really want to talk about what came up in there. And then, and so we didn't, and he's busy working on editing the Mark Twain Prize. And so, we didn't really talk about all the stuff that came up in there. But he just sent me this thing that made me like feel like, okay, good. It's not as dire as I thought it was, you know, like whatever came up, like, I don't know if it never is. Like, it could be down the line.
That's what they
came
said
up
on the Titanic. It's never as bad as it seems, guys.
Yeah, these sayings where people go like, it's right when it's hard. It's like, well, that's a lot of times, or like stuff like that. It's like, well, no, because sometimes you hurt yourself because you go too hard. It's like, it's just not always true, and that's
Sayings
what really
are not
bothers
always,
me.
even though they rhyme. Even if it rhymes, it's not true necessarily.
Yeah, I had double therapy yesterday.
Right.
I had couples, and then went right from couples, logged off, and went right into my single therapy. And at the end of it, I was so drained. And I know people are like, yeah, duh, Nikki, that's draining. Not from me. And then I had done the podcast the hour before. So it was an hour podcast, hour couples, hour.
Wow.
It was a lot of talking,
So
a lot of
3
like
hours
myself.
of therapy.
And the podcast yesterday it was for me and my ecosystem of my body very tense, because I was reliving that red carpet moment that was like fraught for me. And so it was just like, I got done with that last one, and I didn't cry throughout. I cried a little bit on the couples one, but then I bawled, which by the way, I'm a little annoyed at the word bawling, because they will throw bawling. Like, I watch Netflix with the subtitles on all the time, the captions. Oh, my armpit is really white, and my arm is really tan. I can't lift up my arm. And they will go to bawling very often when it is just someone going like, okay, what do you think bawling is? Because when I think of someone bawling, I think of it like, I can't do this, and it's like that's bawling
Really
to me. Of like,
ugly crying, snot
yes,
falling out of your nose. You can't even control it.
yes.
That's bawling.
Men
BAWL.
bawl once in their lives. Women bawl probably 3 times a month. Bawling is not something that happens
7 or 8 times during every
a year.
episode of America's Got Talent.
What? Really?
Yeah, no, it just gets to me.
That's
It's like the
what
only thing
gets
that
to
makes
you?
me cry.
Wait, just hold on. Wait. We have to explore this. Why? It sounds like I'm being judgmental. I hear my own tone, and I'm not being judgmental. I'm actually curious. What is it? Because I like to explore what makes us cry. Like, have you explored? Why is it that touches you so much? What is it saying to your inner child?
My inner child.
It's probably what's going on.
Someone being recognized after doing a lot of hard work, I think.
Wait a second. So, but some of these people are just naturally talented and they didn't work at all. They're just born with good voices. Or
But
is
that's
it
what
really the hard work?
That's what the package is for. They show you the package of this person who clawed their way out of a volcano in order to dance. And they finally get to dance.
Oh, America's Got Talent. I'm thinking of just singing. No, America's Got Talent is actually a lot of people that worked very hard learning how to juggle women on their feet.
That's right. Some of them do juggle women.
Yeah,
and there was
and fire.
There was like I forgot what country it was. Now I feel like semi-racist, but I think it was an Iranian dance team that was I think they won or came in second place last year, and their story was so incredibly touching, and they overcame so much adversity, and then they were amazing dancers. And that made me cry. It's like every single time there's a video, there's like a show me a sizzle reel of someone's adversity, and then show them go on stage and do something amazing, and then have Simon Cowell, that curmudgeonly bastard, go, that was the best thing I've ever seen, and then they cry. There's nothing that gets to me quicker and faster than that.
Do you watch The Voice? Do you watch American Idol? Like, is this just why America's Got Talent? Are you just a Nick Cannon guy, a Howie Mandel guy? Why America's Got Talent? Because for me, I don't like to see swords, and I don't like to see little kids being comedians. I don't like to see. There's so many things. I don't like Nick Cannon off stage commenting about what's happening. I don't like that like live interactive commentary. I don't like and I don't like like shadow puppetry where I'm like, okay, what are we're going to give this person a Vegas contract, which actually that would probably work very well in Vegas, but there's just a lot of stuff that seems set up to be ridiculous, and I know that the gag reel is part of these shows. Sure. Why America's Got Talent and not a singing competition?
Well, it's not Nick Cannon anymore. It's now Terry Crews, and it makes a huge difference that when it's Terry Crews, because Terry Crews, whether he's doing it true, yes, he really wants these people to succeed. We
had him in studio one time, and it was incredible.
He's the sweetest.
He really wants. He takes people under his wing. He mentors certain youths if he sees something in them, and he feels like he can uplift them. And he's really on the sidelines. Sometimes they're doing their act, and everyone's like, "Oh no!" Like if it's Susan Boyle, like, "Oh no, is this ugly person going to be able to sing?" And then everyone's like, "Oh my God, is it going to happen?" And then Terry Crews is on the sideline, and then when it happens, they show that side view, and Terry Crews looks at the camera and goes, "Yes, yes."
Okay, that actually is really fun.
He actually wants them to succeed. Whereas Nick Cannon's reaction in the same situation would be like, "Oh shit, they're bringing it," it'd be something like that.
Yes,
which is fine.
Terry Crews seems like a father on this.
Yes,
like so proud.
Yes.
Oh,
it's a wonderful show. I don't love AGT All-Stars,
is it on right now?
But no.
Is the season happening now?
They did AGT All-Stars, which I don't love, so I just didn't watch that.
Why?
One,
Why don't you love?
Because I want to see the sizzle reels. I want to see them overcome adversity.
Yes, and
the
now
All-Stars, we already know their story. We already know they succeeded.
That's why I wanted so badly to pitch Dancing with the Stars losers. Everyone who's been first voted off comes back. It's been on for 30 plus seasons. You can make a season out of 10 losers, me included, that can come back and actually work hard. It will all be about hard work, even though that show is already about hard work, even if the people are good. I agree with you. I'm trying to think of what makes what makes you cry. I think I might be wrong,
actually. I think it might be on right now.
Well, you're
America's
not
Got Talent Fantasy
right
League is on right now, I guess. Okay, so it is on. I gotta watch it.
Okay, yeah, you should tune into that.
Do
you like Heidi's commentary? I'll watch it if you're watching it.
Heidi's great. I like Heidi. I like her because she kind of brings a cool factor. When she really likes something, I'm like, okay, that's cool. Then she says something like, "That was incredible," and I like hearing that.
What about comedians on America's Got Talent? Because we had a friend who got asked to audition, and I've had many friends on that show. Gary Veter did really well on that show. Taylor Williamson did really well on that show. I think Joe Mackey did great on that show.
Doogie Horner,
sure. Or Tom Cotter, who had a great one of my favorite jokes. Talk about I can't remember bits. I'll never forget Tom Cotter. He was on Last Comic Standing, I think the season 1.
Wow.
He had a joke about my wife can count all the people she's slept with before on one hand with a calculator.
So
I loved it.
The issue with America's
with
Got Talent comedians is that they're looking for a very specific type of comedian, and
one with a puppet.
Yeah, you need a puppet.
Don't a lot of puppeteers win this show or won?
A disproportionate amount of ventriloquists do very well on the show. Yeah, it's crazy.
I don't care for it.
But you have to go out there and you have to do short jokes. You have 3 minutes, and they have to be like family friendly, baseline.
Yeah, all those comics I mentioned are one-liner guys. Practically.
Yeah, Gary Veter's the exception because I know that Gary Veter's definitely not like a mainstream family comic.
Family Guy. No, but he is at his heart. He's such a sweetheart.
Yeah.
But I think that came through, and he's a great joke writer. So, it was interesting. But yeah, Taylor Williamson is also like a kind of a one-liner type guy. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just, I guess I just don't care what. Did you like watching when Howard Stern was
of course,
host or a judge?
Howard Stern was maybe
right?
the best judge. I mean, besides
right.
Simon Cowell, you can't beat a curmudgeon that softens.
Yeah,
especially one with all that power.
There is something like, man, do you want to win him over? Man, would I want Simon Cowell to like me and to see something in me, even though I don't really care for him.
God, yeah.
What is that?
Now, Howard Stern was amazing to have on there too, though. I mean, he was great.
I don't know if it's my daddy issues because my dad's never not loved me, but there's something about an asshole who, or just someone who's just, who doesn't seem to like things, is highly discerning. Even if there was some quote I read the other day that was like, oh, I know what it was. Can we go through these? I want to just talk about these. I put it on my Instagram story yesterday, but it was from Reddit, and it was on the subreddit Life Hacks, and they posted on Instagram. But it's like, I turned 72 today. Here's 32 things I've learned that I hope help you in your journey. You want to go through some? Because I think they're really helpful. Number 1, it's usually better to be nice than right. I think that's true. Yeah.
Kind.
I mean,
nice.
Not nice.
Kind is like the most important word. Nice is fake to me.
Nice sometimes implicates you're kind of like a pushover where people walk all over you. That's my interpretation.
I really like being right.
I'd rather have a mean pilot than a wrong pilot.
That's a good point.
Or a surgeon. I don't know. I don't know if it's always
I said
right.
good landing to a pilot the other day because it was really bumpy on the way in, and I had a dream that our plane crashed, and it just skidded. Do you guys have... Lots of people have this. I remember Andrew Collin, when we used to travel together, he also, when you're on a plane and you sleep, you have a dream that you're flying in a plane through a city, and you're weaving through buildings, and you can see... It's like you're in a car. You can see ahead of you. You can see behind you. And you're kind of okay with it. You're a little bit scared. And sometimes you have to land on a highway. It happens to me a lot. And I know it happens to other people when they sleep on planes. But I had that dream. And then the wind gusts were kind of like making us go like, as we were landing. And then we landed so smoothly that I have a talent. I could go to America's Got Talent. See if you like this talent. Anytime it'd have to be on a plane. I can predict within 1 second when the wheels will hit the ground. I'll go now.
I just gave you
I'll go now, and it'll be, yes, exactly. I will know within
I'll give you
1
an X
second.
like on the show.
Oh.
Because that talent is not going to work on the big stage of Vegas.
But that's pretty impressive, though. I am so in tune with it. I've flown so much. I mean, I can't have a whole Vegas residency opposite Celine Dion predicting when simulating being in a plane and being able to call when it lands. I don't even tell this to anyone. It's just in my head. I don't even know. I can't even celebrate it with someone in a seat next to me. Chris wouldn't give a shit. But I can always feel it. I just know based on, and I don't know if that is quite a talent, but yeah, I would rather.
Well, that's pretty cool. Next time I'm on a plane with you, let me know what your prediction is.
That if planes have a rough landing where it's like boom, boom, that means you can usually tell a pilot if a pilot was in the Navy or the Air Force.
How the fuck do you know this?
I swear to God. No, the Army or the Air Force have different landing styles.
Oh.
So usually pilots have been in the military at some point. And so if they land harshly, they were in the Air Force, I think. Or it might be the other way around. But it's generally is like there's 2 categories. And a hard landing is not a bad landing. It's just a style of landing that they learn.
Wow. Okay.
But I've brought it up to someone that knows shit, and they said, yes, that's true. And I read it on Reddit one time.
My guess is that the hard landing is from the Navy because they have to land on aircraft carriers, which have a lot shorter runways, so they got to slam down and stop. Whereas Air Force, they have an actual runway they can glide onto. That's just my guess.
Okay, let's see if anything comes up.
Yeah.
No, it's not coming up. But there, that is a difference. You can Google it yourselves if you guys are interested. Okay, number 2, nothing worthwhile comes easy.
Worthwhile?
What about love? What about unconditional love?
No, love is not supposed to be easy.
What about from your parent?
I mean, is that always easy though?
It should be. Your parents should love you just
But
the
your
way
parents
you
are
are.
human. They're gonna make mistakes. They're gonna be emotional.
But also, but you shouldn't have to have effort in getting your parents' love. No one's ever said to a child, you just didn't try hard enough to get your mom to like you. You know what I mean? It should come easy. It doesn't mean that it does.
For the child,
but it
maybe.
Should.
It should.
Maybe
It should, of course.
What about life?
Nothing worthwhile comes easy. Yeah, life does come easy.
It's hard for your mom because she's got to push you out. Sorry, Noah. But like for the child, I guess it is kind of traumatizing for the child to get squeezed through also. So maybe it's not that.
Well, the child has to rotate in there and like make their way down. Because they go all the way from like their head being up where your boobs are to where your
Oh my God, really?
pelvis is. So they do have a role in it.
But they don't even know what they're doing. It's just instinct, right? Like they're not like, I'm going to persevere. You know?
But they're not just like hanging out there.
But it's
taking
not
it
easy.
easy.
I'm trying to think of something that's come easy. Nothing worthwhile. Sorry, friendships for me have been easy. Girl friendships.
You're the one who says that like through adversity or like difficulty or stepping outside your comfort zone, that's where people can grow. So isn't that like the challenge? If things come too easy, people don't appreciate it.
But I'm not saying nothing worthwhile comes easy. There are some things that are worthwhile that do come easy. And I would say some people struggle to make friendships. It has not been something that has been a struggle for me in my life just because I've gotten lucky. There have been other things. I'll say what some stuff in Pilates comes very easy to some people. And I know it's all hard work, but I cried today in Pilates again. I like welled up with tears once again because my body won't do what I'm supposed to do. And my teacher showed me a little bit of compassion, which is the number one thing to get me to cry, is if someone just goes like, I know. And then I just go, the other day that it happened, I was not bawling, but it was like, I could have been bawling. I just didn't want to do it because it's a small room. But my teacher the other day was like, I was like, she could sense that I was getting so frustrated. And I was like, why can't my body do this when it's so like most people's can? And I'm not lying. Like it's not me being hyperbolic. Like it really, most people can do this thing. And she was just like, I don't know. She's like, I don't know. And she goes, sometimes I cry because my body won't do what it's supposed to. And her saying that, it literally, the second she said cry, I was like, no! And it started flying out of my face because it just gave me permission that was an okay response to how frustrating this fucking feeling is. I don't feel safe in Pilates anymore because I've cried the past 2 sessions. I don't know what's happening to me.
Do you think
I'm
you're having
so
a mental
frustrated.
block?
Weren't you like achieving?
I thought I was crushing it, and I'm not. The thing is, this is what I got in high school. I was never the best, but I was always the most hardworking. That's what I am in Pilates. I will give it to myself. I'm probably the most hardworking person who's bad at it that there is, but I am not achieving things. I am because I've been going to these other classes.
You're going to get to a point where it just clicks. It becomes a part of your muscle memory.
It's been
inevitable.
months of 3 to 4 times a week, and it is still. I've been going to other classes where there's girls that I know just do these classes 3 times a week. They're not doing like
for 10 years.
No, they're young. They're all college students, and they have the strength. I don't even understand. It's just so upsetting when you think you're doing
rugby players.
No, they're like these tiny girls that look like they're kind of just like not really trying that hard. Like they're just like, oh, I just do 1 class a week on Saturdays. Like I can tell it's that kind of girl.
But they're in their 20s, so their body is able to pull that off too.
It's not about that. It really, and I know I'm not trying, I'm just saying I'm just different. And then today my teacher was just like, people just have different anatomies. You just weren't born with a body that can do that. And that's just where I want to just quit life. I just get so frustrated. Okay.
Well, nothing worthwhile comes easy. So you got to do it.
I know, but I am going to keep trying. It's just sad when you try really hard and you're not seeing the results that you want.
Oh. Story of my life.
Really? With your teeth and your mattress?
And your heart?
No, apply it to anything. It's with playing piano. I'm like, I can't get good enough. With doing stand-up, I can't get good enough. With just like trying to succeed.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like, No, I don't. What about with stand up? I don't agree with you. I just feel like, yeah, you're as good as you do it as many times as you do it. Like that, if you do it a lot, you're amazing, and if you're not doing it a lot, you're not. Like that's just seems to be the way it works for everyone, and I think for you as well. And but piano, are you reaching a roadblock?
It's just, I just wish I was better every time I play. I'm like, God, why can't I play this faster? Why can't I play in tempo? Why do I keep messing this up? It's just like, I'm sure it's the same way with anyone who's playing an instrument as an adult. It's just like, why? I just want to be better at this.
And that's the reason I quit as a kid, was because I wouldn't put up with that as a kid, because I didn't realize like you need to be bad. Like it's okay to be bad. I'm more comfortable being bad, but it's just as like, I think you fuck up as much as a kid, but as a kid, I couldn't handle being bad at anything.
Yeah.
And so I would quit. And now I just keep going and just I'm like, I guess I just suck and this is going to sound weird. All right, we have to go to break. We'll get to more of these numbers when we get back. Okay, number 3 on things that he learned when he was 72. This is
I feel like 72 is kind of young though, because like
yeah,
I don't know
it
about your
is.
parents, but my parents are like 72 and they don't.
But they're
seem
not.
Like old
This person
geezers.
is definitely in 12-step program and like has done a lot of work on themselves based on everything. The whole list. I wouldn't take this list from my parents. No offense to them.
Yeah,
But this person seems, based on what we get into later, you'll see. Okay, number 3, work on a passion project, even just 30 minutes a day. It compounds. Yeah, that's piano for you, right, Brian? Don't you play like an hour a day?
I play, well, piano is also kind of like meditative. Like I'll play for as long as possible and it calms me down.
But what about when you start to suck? And you feel frustrated? Does that calm you down? Or do you just play things that you feel comfortable doing?
No, I push myself for sure. I think it calms me when I'm playing it, even if I suck. And
Really?
I get frustrated, like thinking about it later. Or when I get really frustrated is when there's a situation where there's a piano and there's in public or something, and like I can't
Because
play
that's your
it.
goal.
Yeah.
You want to be able to play in public.
Yeah, for
Just
30
one
minutes.
song for 30 minutes. Okay, sorry, a 30-minute song.
That's a
3
that's my
Taylor
40
Swift
under
songs.
40. Yeah, I just need to do 3 Taylor Swift songs or 1 Mozart concerto and sit down and do it. I can play songs. It's not like I like can't. It's not like I'm just playing the
I want to
C
see you
scale.
play. Do you ever
I
bring it
know.
on the road with you, like a little keyboard?
No, I thought about it. You can buy a foldable keyboard.
Yeah.
I was thinking about it for when we were doing F-Boy, because I was like, it would be nice to have a piano, especially if there was for like that long of just like constantly being there in that place.
Mm-hmm. I could have played guitar with you. We could have jammed.
So that I can do. I think I can accompany.
Oh, that's cool. All
Yeah.
right. Well, let's do F-Boy again. Let's see how it goes. Lovers and Liars, April 11th. Oh,
Yes.
by the way, people keep writing to me like, congrats on your new show. And I keep writing back, what show? Like, I don't even know what they're talking about.
Right.
Because first of all, we taped it so long ago that it doesn't make sense that it's even like coming out now. I mean, it was less than a year ago, but it was September, you know? And so Lovers and Liars, which is practically F Girl Island. That's what we shot it as. And the name is
not
changed.
Practically. It's not. It's literally.
It is F Girl Island.
Yes. That's what it is.
3 guys looking for love. They were F boys in seasons prior, but now they actually want love and it's real. And then there are a bunch of girls, and half of them are F girls and half of them are nice girls, and the guys have to decide who. And the girls it's fucking nuts, dude. It's
It's
crazy.
an amazing show. It's just.
And we couldn't predict who was who. We all like played along.
Wow, cool.
It was so fun. It's gonna be
Yeah.
good. Lovers and Liars. That's what it's called. April 11th on the CW. Okay. Do you work on a passion project, Noah?
that baby.
Yeah, I guess it's that. But
Yeah, I mean, now you're pregnant, so you can just take off.
yeah, I kind of
Most stuff.
hate this one. I don't like this kind of expectation because it's like I don't know what my passion project is. I'm not passionate about anything.
What? I've never heard you say anything like that. What about jujitsu? BJJ?
I mean, yes, I love jujitsu. I guess maybe because I can't do it now, I feel so like pulled out of the world.
yeah.
But
yeah.
besides that, I mean, like I've gone through my guitar phase. I was obsessed with it, Brian. I can totally relate to what you're saying. I've done that. I played guitar for like 20 years and now I just like, it's just like right there in the corner. I got my custom guitar now. I don't care about it.
God.
So it's
To
like
have
I've
that
lost
talent
passion.
just sitting in you.
Yeah.
But I don't care. I don't care about it. So
You just don't. It doesn't inspire you at all.
Yeah. So I don't know what my passion is. I'm trying to figure it out.
You know, you got the baby
I
for
agree
20
with you.
years. And then
I
after
only
20
like
years,
playing-
you can put it in the corner. And
Yeah, that's true. Just
Hate
spend
it.
30 minutes on that thing a day. That's all you need to do. Yeah, someone the other day was like, what brings you joy? And I was like, and they're like, guitar. And I'm like, only if I'm in the mood for it. That's not something I reach for and go, wow, I feel better now. Like, I don't relate to Brian being like, it calms you. If I'm in a good mood already and I'm feeling a high level of self-esteem and competency in my own self, then I can play guitar because guitar makes me feel inadequate. And so if I'm already strong, I can pick up a guitar and go like, okay, it's okay. I'm still a good person. But if I'm looking to feel good outside of myself, I would never pick up a guitar. It's only going to make me feel worse.
Yeah. So what do you do? Like, if you're just kind of like, you know what? I want to feel joy right now. I'm going to go do this because I really like it. I can't
My
think
thing
of
has
anything.
been walking on a treadmill. I am obsessed with it. I can't every day because I'm going to get injured because I can't help but like want to work up like a sweat. And I hate when people brag about like, I love exercising. So I really am sorry that I'm saying this. This is just a phase I'm going through where I just don't, because I don't have anything to do and I cannot be still and I have so much work on my plate that I should be doing at any given moment. When I'm on a treadmill, I feel like I can't do other things, that I can only listen to music and disappear into it, that it's like an excuse to
But
not
it
do
brings
anything.
you joy. I'm not talking about avoiding stuff, but like, does it actually bring you, like, does it make you happy?
there are
Do you
two
really
things
It
that
does.
bring
It
Nikki
does.
joy.
It does.
One, being on a plane where there's
Yeah.
no Wi-Fi. Or
I think
two,
this is the
being
being on a
under
treadmill.
anesthesia.
yes. That was awesome. Sleeping, napping. Even though
Yeah.
I've been having really bad dreams, I think my body's like, we're not letting you get away with this anymore. Because I've been having horrifying dreams
Wow.
when I sleep,
Oh
because
my
that's been my
God.
escape recently. Going through a little bit of a downward, not spiral, but just been feeling down recently, and really like can't figure out what to do with my time. Like, I eat and then I'm like, okay, then I'll nap. Okay, now I'll go on a treadmill. Now I'll go do a Pilates class. And then I'll feel accomplished after that. And I won't feel the need to do anything else. I will have had a full day. Then I'll do therapy. And then after that, I'll feel accomplished. But when I hang up the Zoom call with the therapist, or when I walk out of the Pilates class and I'm drenched in sweat, there is just another feeling of what's next. What are you going to do next? I don't know what to do in that time. I'm not, unless there's a pedophile documentary, I don't feel like watching anything. And I heard there is going to be an extra Quiet on Set episode that they're adding about Drake Bell in addition. So I'm very excited about that. But I don't know what to do with my time. I guess coloring books might be something to turn to. Books in general. I want to get involved in another book. This morning I woke up and I read a bunch of articles in magazines that I wanted to read. I just don't know what to do to fill up my time.
Maybe you need structure. I mean, that's how I feel whenever I don't have a job. It's like
The store?
I feel a lot happier. Yeah, you need to go to that store and
That's
buy
been
some.
gone since
buy
they
some
turned it into
fuzzy
Express
sweaters.
Men's. Okay.
Whenever I don't have a job and I have to like be at an office or at least be in meetings from like 9 a.m. until 5 p.m. or longer with a full project, or like being on F-Boy or something like that, I get depressed. I get like depressed 3 months after the job ends because I like the break, but then after too much of a break where there's nothing to do, where there's no structure, I start to get depressed. And then you have to find your own structure, which is like really difficult to do on a consistent basis.
You need discipline for that.
Yeah.
Yes. And I have discipline. Like if it's on my calendar, I'm going to do it. Like I have a voice lesson
Yes.
day. I just went to Pilates. I have this podcast. Those are my 3-hour chunks that I have. I'm going to dinner with my parents. But in those other hours that I'm awake, I'll probably walk an hour on a treadmill just casually, but then I'll probably go too hard and then my knee will start hurting and I'll go, I have to stop. And then I'm like, now what do I do? And then I'll try to do like a meditation and then I'll get bored. And like, I think I'm just running from voices in my head. I just cannot believe, I just don't know what I just need more friends or something. I need more phone calls, but at the same time, I talk too much and I got to stop talking all the time. Like I talk for a living. And so when I'm not working, I need to be more quiet. So if anyone has some good ideas of stuff to do that really occupies your time, maybe collaging, maybe like making
Do you have to be at home? Like, would you rather be at
No, I'd go
home?
out, but
You could always
yeah,
You
I'd
need
get
hobbies.
a dog to walk or something.
You can
Yeah.
volunteer at the bird sanctuary in St. Louis.
It's just another thing I'll be expected to do, though. And then if I decide, like, here's the thing about lessons and like Pilates and things that you take on that are extracurriculars. When your work does get busy again and you can't devote as much time to those things, those people take offense. And I know that it's not my problem that they do, but there's like a managing of because they go, you could be so good at this if you just devoted the time. And I'm like, but I am not a professional Pilates like no one's ever said that about Pilates, but
yeah, like volunteering, I think is a different mindset because they just appreciate, even if you give like a half hour and that's it, they'll take anything. And then you could just play with birds and stuff.
That'd be cool to clean bird cages and feel like that would actually make me feel like I did something.
It's
That's
meaningful.
a good idea.
Yeah.
Barack Obama is so in demand and busy that every single minute of his day is pretty much scheduled out, and he has just like people around him that are making sure he stays on schedule, and he has just a binder that he gets handed every week and then weekend that he has to like, here are the things you have to look through and here's when you have to look through them. And so he even has to schedule in like, and now 2 hours to be with my family into the schedule, because every minute of his life is worth like, $20,000 or whatever. So every little minute is scheduled out. Everybody wants a piece.
That's a lot though.
Yeah.
I don't think you'd want your life to
maybe
get
Nikki
that
wants
busy.
that.
I'd like that. I'd honestly like that.
Really?
I'd like it to, because I love my calendar when I'm like, I know I have this and this. Like today it got a little messed up because I messed up on times, and I really don't like that. I always leave a 10-minute window to like walk to the next place or like send an email in between or pick up a coffee and then get there right on time. Everything's really regimented. I don't like having, like at the end of this podcast, I have a voice lesson at 2, but we're probably going to end at like 1:20. And then that means I have 20 minutes before I have to get in the car. And that 20 minutes, I'll probably just eat. And I'm not even hungry, but I don't know what else let's think of something I can do in that 20 minutes.
You can
Meditate.
do vocal warm-ups.
Oh, God.
You can write a schedule.
I could write a schedule.
Write a schedule for the rest of the day. See how it goes.
Okay. But
You can talk to me.
Okay. I could talk to you.
Yeah, we could talk about podcast stuff.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
God, that does not sound good to me. That's just like that does not. I have to
setting
be
up a
honest.
meeting.
That sounds stressful to me because it's stuff that I avoid everything. This is the biggest problem in my relationship is that I don't ever want to talk about the future. I don't want to schedule things because I don't. I like doing things. I like talking about what I have to do instantly. What'd you say?
This is the conundrum. Like, you need a schedule, but you don't love to schedule things.
No, so you can't schedule things. That's why working on a show is perfect, because you need someone else to make the schedule, and you don't know what it is. And then someone says, you have to be here in 5 minutes. And you're like,
Brian.
what?
I need that binder to show up on my doorstep every day.
You're not even thinking about the schedule. It's just, I just finished my 45-minute speech to the unhoused committee or whatever. And now someone's like, all right, you got to go to Tacoma, and it's like, what the fuck? And then you're on a plane to Tacoma before you even know it.
Yes, I love that.
Yeah.
I just, what do you do with these spaces when you guys have like 20 minutes to kill? If you like had 20 minutes before you needed to go somewhere, like what would you do? You literally have nothing to do.
Gamble on a sport, usually. I'll just be like, what basketball game is happening right now? Can I place a bet on it?
Oh my gosh.
If I have to really, yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Probably like play with my cat or something.
Play with
I'll
your
do that
cat
sometimes. I'll play with Noah's cat sometimes too.
Hey,
virtually.
That sounds dirty.
So I guess I have to get a gambling addiction or a pet. Yeah, I just that's I guess I could, I could just tidy around my house. My house is
you need an addiction.
Chaotic.
Oh yeah, that's something I would do.
I don't need another one of those.
Addicted to gambling,
plenty.
no, Nikki.
Yeah, okay, let's continue on this list. Okay, 4, become a lifelong learner.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
I like that. I think that goes well with like what sport coaches teach, or just like coaches in general teach, like be teachable.
Yeah.
Always be open to learning.
My voice teacher always tells a story about some like amazing cellist or something. He's like the best cellist in the world or something. And he was 90 something and he was still practicing every day. And they go, why are you practicing? Like, you got it. And he's like, And his response was, I think I'm onto something. And I liked that. Like, he was like, I've still got things, like, there's always stuff to learn. And that's what they say about Pilates too, is that you're constantly like, it never gets easy. You're just like always raising the bar a little bit more. Which isn't that life, that it's never, you're never, and nothing ever stays the same. You always have to change. There's always going to be a struggle. There's always going to be a change. That is really annoying.
Yeah.
Because you think when you find a partner and you find love and you both love each other and you get along so well, it'll just stay that way. Why wouldn't it? But it doesn't. You have to continually work, and then sometimes you divorce, and then sometimes you don't, like, work through it. Like, it's just, people change. Okay. Number 5, working from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. isn't productivity. It's guilt.
Oh, shit.
Who works from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m.? People do that.
My dad used to.
Oh my
From like
God.
5 a.m. to like 11 p.m.
If you include the commute too.
I don't think it's guilt. I think it's you're running from something, or you are poor, and this is the only way to survive now in a broken society. But I don't think it's. But yeah, I guess sometimes it's guilt.
It's guilt if your work is not your passion. But if I was working from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., that certainly isn't guilt, and I'd feel great about it, and I'd be like, I'm just doing what I love and trying
every day
and trying to progress my career. Yeah, every single day. But if you're working at an office for some other company and it's not what you care about, companies don't care about you. I've said this on the podcast before, but just as much as HR likes to make you feel good or whatever, and they give you a free beer on Friday or whatever, they don't give a shit about you, and they'll fire you in an instant if it makes their bottom line better. And so if you're working from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. for some company, then you're feeling like guilty or inadequate for some reason.
Or you're just scared you'll lose your job and you won't find another.
But you won't.
That's all you won't lose your job?
No, that's the thing about these jobs, is that you don't have to work half as hard as you think. Just look at your coworkers.
I would agree with that.
Look at your coworkers. They're all idiots. Like, think about your coworkers. Think about how dumb they are and how much they fuck up, and realize that you could be doing that too. And you'd still have a job. It's so hard to fire somebody these days.
And it's hard to and expensive and timely to like hire to fill a position. So
yeah, they'd rather fix what's there than to find someone new.
But people are desperate to feel important and to feel needed, and so they work hard and they take on other people's work, and they don't take vacation days and they don't take sick days. It gives them a sense of purpose that they might not have otherwise in their lives. And I think that that's what some people hold on to, is like, this place would fall apart without me.
Yeah, but it's not true, sadly.
Yeah, it makes these like corporate like assholes take advantage of people like that, unfortunately.
Yeah, that feeling is how the capitalist pigs leverage you.
Okay, to be really successful, become useful. I like that.
Yeah, you got to be useful. That's true.
I like applying it to comedy. I'm like, okay, if my comedy is just doing something else that someone has done, or like is just copying, like who did I watch? I was watching some art documentary or some documentary or person online talking about being an artist, creativity, and it's like, if you are just doing what other people are doing, no one needs that. That's not useful. We already have it. You have to bring something new. You have to have my comedy, my stylings have to be something that isn't derivative of anything else. And like I have to be irreplaceable and useful. But I don't know.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I like that one. So what was it again? To be really successful, become useful. So instead of talking about I'm going to be great at this, I'm going to be the best at it, I just want to be irreplaceable.
That's my whole career, is I've made myself useful for people.
Yes, you were very useful as like a writer. You are extraordinarily useful and encouraging as a comedic writer. I would say that. Good job on number 6. 7, like houses in need of repair, problems usually don't fix themselves.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Damn, really threw houses under the bus.
Well, That's why I don't want to own a house, because of this exact quote. And thank God there was a woman this weekend. She is an executive at Netflix that I met at Mark Twain. And I've known her forever. And she's one of the people that decides what goes on Netflix. And she's been in the business for a really long time. And we were talking about, she owns a place in New York and LA. And I was like, I'm really ashamed that I don't own anything. And I don't want to own anything. And I don't know what's wrong with me. And she was like, it's a scam. She was like, the reason everyone wants a home is because it's part of the American dream that everyone's been sold. And it's not, you don't need to own a home. And it is a pain in the ass, Nikki. It sucks. It always needs something. And I go, yeah, but I can get other people to do that for me. And she goes, but you got to manage those people. And I'm like, damn straight I do, bitch. She nailed it. I was like, she understood what I was saying. Like, people are like, but you won't have to do that. You won't have to do this. Or even Chris is like, I'll do that. I'll manage those people. And I'm like, but then I get less of you. Let's just live in an apartment where you don't have to do any of that stuff. And we both have free time. Like, it's not just about, you have to decide what you want. You know, I want my kitchen redone.
But that's really the answer. That's what do you, if you have 20 minutes before an appointment, what is it that you need to do? Like, that is always 100% of the time filled with me doing something around the house, unloading the dishwasher, taking out the garbage, watering the plants, you know, and if you have a house, there's unlimited things to do. So that might actually solve all your problems. If you owned a house and you're just like, oh shit,
there's tons to do in my apartment though. I could clean all the time.
That's that's what you should be doing when you have 20 free minutes.
You can also buy an apartment.
Buy an apartment.
Yeah,
buy an apartment building. That's what your cousin said to me.
What my cousin said?
Well, you have like a cousin of a cousin or something who was in Cincinnati, and I had a conversation with him, and he owns 2 apartment buildings.
Oh.
And he says people think that they should save up their money and buy an apartment. I say that's wrong. You got to buy an apartment building.
I wonder who
and then
this
streamers
was.
fell
Chucky?
from the sky. I don't remember his name.
Bobby?
Yeah, it was Chucky. It was Bobby Chucky, I think, something like that.
I
Chucky.
will say that I did have family in Cincinnati this weekend at our shows. So many family.
Oh yeah.
Like my mom has 7 or 10
reunion.
10 brothers and sisters. 9 brothers and sisters. My mom is the 10th or the 7th, but there's 10 total. And Nancy, Jimmy, Michael, Julie, Tom, or Peggy, Chucky, Bobby, Sally, mom and dad. I think I missed one in there. But anyway, a lot of them were there. A lot of the cousins were there. But I do have an uncle who is in his 60s at least, maybe 70s. Maybe he wrote this list. But he's old and he's a man, right? And he brought like a young guy with him. Like I think it was his like daughter's friends. Anyway, there was a 25-ish-year-old man with my uncle, like in the group my uncle brought some friends, and one of this was like a strapping young lad who was like a cutie, right? Like someone that you'd be like, wow, if that kid thinks I'm cool, I've got Riz or whatever the fuck. And this kid, who's like this tall, handsome 25-year-old, probably maybe 23, 24, like, I don't know, early 20s, says to me backstage in front of Chucky, who is my uncle, in his 70s, and in front of whatever young girl he was with, and then another guy, and then another girl, we're all in like a circle, and he was like, you look so much like Chucky. When you walked out on stage tonight, I just thought, oh my God, they have the same nose. And I look over at Chucky's nose, and it is a old man's nose, a prominent, no offense, Chucky, if you're watching this, you got a honker. And it's bigger because you're an older man, and that's what happens to noses when they get bigger. And he said, you look identical to Chucky. I'm sorry, in what world, what woman wants to be compared to any 60-something-year-old man ever in looks? I don't care who the man is. This is not an indictment on Chucky's looks. I don't want to look like an older man. And this guy said this kid said this and said, and it wasn't just like you, I see his resemblance. It was like the second you walked on stage, you looked so much like him. I was telling it, we all talked about it. And then I looked over at Chucky and I saw it. I know what he was talking about. We kind of look like. I have a prominent nose, and I have like kind of like almond
mannerisms.
Eyes.
Could it be just like
it was
the way you?
Because I had not said anything. I hadn't talked yet. He said as soon as you walked on stage, I said that's Chucky.
Wow.
Thanks. thanks. And I just was like,
I don't know. That's not a compliment.
He didn't. Until maybe 5 minutes later, he interrupted another conversation I was having with someone and said, by the way, I just want to say you're really pretty. And I go, did your girlfriend tell you to say that? Because she's right. I am.
As soon as you walked on stage, I was like, you look like this old couch I have in my apartment.
That would have been better. No offense, Chucky. Like, honestly, it's just, this is, I wish I had a picture of Uncle Chucky. You just don't, a girl doesn't want to look like Uncle Chucky. Uncle Chucky, as I was a guy, I would want, and I was a 6-year-old man, great, sign me up. I'll look like Uncle Chucky.
There isn't an uncle in the world that a girl wants to look like.
And then let's just add another backhanded compliment to the fucking list. At the meet and greet, there was a friend of my parents who's now divorced. Like, my parents were friends with this guy, and he divorced her. And no, he's dead. So I guess,
So she's a widower?
She divorced him after he died?
She's with someone else. I don't know. Yeah, I think you could do that. So she was at the meet and greet, and she came through, and she walks up, and I'm just like, know instantly what's happening. I've known this woman since I was a little girl. And she was like, what happened to you? You used to be such a darling, quiet, sweet little girl. And now you're crazy.
Whoa.
You're crazy.
Holy shit.
You're this crazy woman.
Oh my God.
And so now I know my act is giving crazy woman.
Crazy?
Which I guess is any woman who has an opinion into
You're
a microphone.
You're a comedian. You're on stage
in an emphatic way. Yeah. I'm killing on stage in front of a crowd of, I don't know, 1,700, 2,000 people in my hometown. And this woman has the audacity to call me crazy and look very disturbed at like what happened to you. Like honestly searching my face for answers. And I go, do you see Chucky? Because maybe that's what's happening to me is that I'm starting to look like Chucky and I'm losing my fucking mind over it because I'm looking like my skin is falling off my skull and I'm angry about it. And I'm like, I am going crazy. I'm
so
just like,
this was in Cincinnati also?
Yes.
So someone
this
called
was
you
before
crazy?
Backstage because she was just at the meet and greet. She didn't go backstage. And,
so you crushed, by the way. You had one of the best sets I've seen you have. And then after the show, people were like, you look like a crazy uncle.
Yeah, it was like, there was a lot of nice things too. I will say that my Uncle TV, who is the funniest person I knew in my childhood, he was just remarkably funny, still is, just naturally. He tried to do comedy, I think, a couple times. He did stand up a couple times in the 80s, 90s. And it just never took, he could have been great at it. He's just so funny. And I was so aware that he was there the whole time. His name is Bob, but he's my dad's best friend. He's how my dad and mom got together. Well, not really. Well, kind of. He's my dad's best friend all through childhood, and my mom was my Uncle TV's sister. But because he was had such a great personality, he was so funny, my dad nicknamed him TV, like you should be on TV. So now his name is TV, and that was a childhood nickname. But anyway, I knew TV was in the audience the whole time, and I was very aware of it. And I always get nervous when he's there because I just know that if I were him, I'd be like, man, I should be up there because I'm funnier than her. Because he kind of is.
That's always the case, though.
He didn't think that though. He was like really proud, and he had he was like, I could just tell he was really proud and like he was so sweet and just said all the right things. And I almost didn't want to see him because I didn't want to see any look of disappointment on his face of like, you're too dirty or like that wasn't for me. That the kind of shit that people say not knowing that they're hurting your feelings. But it ended up being he was very nice. So there were really nice compliments coming from all directions. My mom said it was the best set she's ever seen me had, and it was a perfect mixture of dirty and clean. Not clean, but like not too dirty. Even though I opened with talking about gangbangs, and I just didn't even plan on doing that. It was so oftentimes I'm in the middle of a bit, and I'm just like, "Oh, what are you doing? Get me out of this." That's a normal feeling for a comedian to have. It's like where you venture into a bit, and you're like, "I don't even care about this right now. I don't know why I'm doing this." It's probably like what it feels like when Smash Mouth sings like All Star or something. Even though the guy's dead. Probably what killed him. Okay, we got to go to break. We'll go through more of these when we get back. All right, we're back. I love this one because it has to do with envy, which is my number one problem in my life. Okay. Envy is like drinking poison, expecting the other person to die.
Yeah. Classic phrase.
That's a classic one. I know, but it doesn't ever stay with me. The thing that stays with me about envy is the only sin of the, how many sins are there? Seven? Deadly.
7,000.
I'm sure there are. But of the 7 deadly sins, envy is the only one that's no fun. There's no upside. All the other ones have like some fun involved. There's always a downside, obviously.
What are the sins? I don't.
Gluttony. I'm just thinking of Seven.
Oh,
the movie
fun.
7.
Yeah, without that movie, I don't think anyone would know the
Adultery,
sins.
fun.
Yeah, that's really fun.
Coveting someone's.
Adultery isn't one of them.
Well, coveting is coveting.
Lust.
Lust. Yeah,
Definitely
lust is
fun.
pretty fun. Yeah, I mean,
It's
lust,
mostly fun.
I think lust
wouldn't
is
even
maybe the
consider
most
that a
fun
sin.
one. Which sin is
Okay.
the most fun?
Sloth.
Okay, lust. Sloth.
Sloth.
Whoa, that's good.
That's
Yeah.
a fun one.
Okay, sloth, lust. What other?
Do you want me to say them, or are you trying to guess?
Yeah. No. I'm out of guesses.
Okay. Pride,
Fun.
greed,
Mm-hmm.
lust, envy,
Envy.
gluttony.
Gluttony. Yes. Okay.
And then the one that everyone always forgets, which I'm not even 100% sure what this means. Wrath. What
that's
is-
just anger.
That's just anger. It's a
Let me
sin to
go
be
back.
angry.
Yeah, that's not a good thing. I do like that they say that pride is a sin because everyone always is like, that's the thing that I read about in that book, Letting Go, that I was obsessed with, is that they were like, let go of pride. Don't be proud of things. Don't be proud of yourself. Don't be proud of people. That's a bad thing to be. And it was the first time I'd ever heard that, but it isn't because pride is a sin. And I've obviously heard that before. But we don't ever act like pride is a sin. All we talk about is that you should be proud of yourselves. Oh my God, I got done. I was so proud of myself. I'm proud of this. I'm proud of you. I want to make my parents proud. I want to make you, like, everything's about pride, but pride is not good to have
Pride
because
parade.
it sets you up for failure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, unless it's pride, like gay pride, then that's good.
Be humble. That's what Kendrick says. You know what? Here's a definition for wrath. Wrath can be defined as uncontrolled feelings of anger, rage, and even hatred. Wrath often reveals itself in the wish to seek vengeance. So I guess I can see that
That's
being
what
bad.
it is. It's the vengeance. It's like the vengeful anger.
Uncontrolled yeah, like someone just truly unleashing. But being just regular angry, that can't be a sin. That's just an emotion that you feel.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think the idea with sinning is that we all are born doing it, and we
We're all
can't help it, and we
sinners.
will do it, and you have to just repent.
It's not
and that's,
anger. It's wrath. Like the
Yeah.
definition of wrath is the vengeful anger. So I don't think
But it's not
Uncontrolled.
saying that you've taken it. It just says that you want to have. Like, isn't there a difference between like daydreaming about hurting someone
no,
and
wrath
actually doing
often
it?
reveals itself in the wish to seek vengeance. It's not saying you
Right.
do it.
It's not saying you do it. It's just the
Just
wish will
thinking
kill
about-
you.
That's why they say, like, if you just have homoerotic thoughts, that's a sin. You have to.
Right.
That's what the Mormons say.
Well, original sin that I learned about at youth camp, which I went to this Young Life camp, and I was not raised with any religion, so I didn't know about original sin. But original sin's so fucked up. It's like they did this thing at youth camp, at a Young Life camp, and where the whole week they were like, we are going to talk to you about sin and about God's love and Jesus is forgiving you, and at the very end, we're going to reveal something that's going to blow your mind. And we were like, okay, what's the secret going to be? I was not buying in because my parents steeled me against any kind of messaging that I would get there because my parents are atheists. And so they, were really like, do not fall for any of the talks.
Why did
Just
they
have
send
fun.
you to that?
Because I wanted to
camp?
go because all my friends were going. And it's just like it's a social thing. And you sing songs and you make crafts. And it's in a camp place in Wisconsin. It's just like with a bunch of high school students that you like.
Oh, that sounds great.
Flirty boy times, and like girl hangs. It's great. But then you had to do the God talks. But at the very end, they were like, here's the thing. We talked about sin and we talked about how Jesus will forgive you. You're born with sin. So even if you think you've never sinned before, you're born sinning. You have original sin. Just being born, you'll have these thoughts. You're going to hell no matter what. But there's a silver lining. You don't have to go to hell, even though you're on your way there right now. But you don't have to if you let Jesus into your heart and you ask him for forgiveness. And you take Jesus' hand. Jesus is on the water and you're in a boat. And you have to step off the boat. And are you going to step off the boat? and they pass the mic around and they make everyone say, I'm going to step off the boat, and everyone's crying, becoming a Christian. And Taylor McGraw and I were drawing in a notebook, making fun of people. And we didn't get off the boat, but I thought it was really fucking tricky of them to all week talk about like, these are what sinners are and you guys aren't. Oh, wait a second. You were, as a baby, you were born with sin.
Yeah. I always say that about babies too.
It's so
I've never seen a baby
up.
that wasn't a filthy fucking sinner.
Do you know that, because babies go, that's why they're baptized. They that means they'll go to heaven because they can't talk yet. So they can't repent. Right. So if they die before they can talk, they still will go to heaven because they were baptized or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Women that, wanted to kill themselves back in the early ages, I don't know when exactly, they also had it in their minds that if they kill themselves, they'll go to hell, right? Because that's a sin to kill yourself. So they didn't want to go to hell, but they were deeply depressed and wanted to die, right? So what would they do? They would take a baby that was newly baptized and throw it in a river.
There you go.
Throw it in a river. The baby would die. They would be tried for murder, and they would be put to death. And that's how they would commit suicide. That is a real thing that would happen quite often.
But don't you go to hell anyway for murdering a baby?
No, because they would ask for forgiveness. They would repent. And Jesus forgives all.
Anything?
So, yeah.
Oh my God.
I think that's the rule. Jesus forgives everything. Jesus loves you. And so they would murder a baby because the baby was going to go to heaven. They knew that. So they didn't really care that they murdered the baby. Literally, this life is just a waiting room to the afterlife.
That's
so they
right.
did that baby a service in their minds. They tossed a baby into a river, and then they would be tried for murder, and then they would be put to death and burned at the stake or whatever the fuck would hung, and then it wouldn't be their fault that they died. Isn't that fucked up?
Yeah, it's really fucked up.
And that's why you should send your kids to Young Life Camp. Okay, final thought. Let's do a couple more.
Think about all the sins a baby commits. Wrath, 100%. A baby is constantly screaming.
They're not vengeful, though.
Oh, you've never met these babies.
Actually, toddlers are vengeful.
Yes. Wrath.
They'll pull your hair.
Greed.
They'll call you ugly. The other day, Poppy goes, "That's you." And she pointed at a woman. That was not me, if you know what I'm saying. The only thing we had in common was blonde hair. And I said, "Why is that me?" And she goes, "That looks like you." And I go, "I don't know that I look like that. Why do I look like that?" And they go, because you're fat." The woman was a fat woman.
Wow.
And I said, "Oh, I am?" And I go, "That's actually awesome. I want to be fat. I think being fat is cool, and that's a totally okay thing to be." I was like trying to obviously like make this not because I know that they were just trying to be rude, but it bothered me that they thought calling me fat was funny or something.
How old are they?
19. No, she's 4. So she already knows. She already knows that fat people are to be made fun of, I guess, and skinny people are better because that's what it's America, baby.
They taught her that at camp.
Oh, it's so frustrating. But I was just like, good. I want to be fat, and I would love to look like that woman. And I think I sold it. I think she believed it. Okay, but yeah, they're mean. Kids are mean. Don't hold on to your great idea until it's too late.
Wait, what? I don't understand.
Don't hold on to your great idea until it's too late. Tell someone that great idea and then let them make it.
Yeah.
Like if you have a great idea, do it. Don't let it find some other avenue because
Sure. I don't relate at all to
Really?
that one. Well, I just every time I have an idea, I try to execute it and it doesn't always succeed. And that's just the way it goes. I'm not one of these people who's
so
like...
you do relate to it. You think that's a good idea to
Okay, well, actually, this
by.
did happen to me because I had a great idea and I sat on it, and then fucking Kevin Costner came in and he stole it from me.
Yellowstone?
Yeah, it was Yellowstone. I had the idea for Yellowstone.
Having a contentious divorce?
No,
what did you do?
My idea was to create a location-based storytelling app where if you're on a road trip or something and you drive past a location or a point of interest, then it will tell you a story based on that location while you're in that location.
Great idea.
And it can be, and Kevin Costner did it. like a year after I started talking to my lawyer about it, Kevin Costner.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Kevin Costner came out with the same app.
Does your lawyer represent Kevin Costner?
My lawyer is Kevin Costner. But that's not, I don't see the connection.
I did have a good idea for an app one time, and now I can't remember it. I
See,
think
so
that's
that
for the best.
applies.
Yeah.
It-
You don't.
yeah.
But that's the thing is like you don't want to be an app developer. Like I don't know what Kevin
Who doesn't have a
Costner's-
good idea for a fucking app?
Right. Exactly.
My joking one that was a good idea was one called Last Seen In, and it was a way for girls to post their outfits of the day.
Mhm.
But it was a way that if they posted it and they went missing, we would have a documentation of what they were last wearing.
Oh.
But it was a way to it was a way to find missing girls. It was a nod to the fact that we're all future victims of crimes and possible kidnappings and being, put into a slave situation. But also was a way to be like, this is my outfit of the day, and it's called Last Seen In. You do it before you go
great
for a
idea.
run. You do it before you go on a date.
I think that's hilarious. That's
kinda
easy to
funny.
make too. That's like they tried to make Be Real a thing, and that's like I don't know if that's working or not. It seems like
Some
not.
people still have B reels. Yeah, I like those. I like that
Enough.
some apps are just some people are on them and others are not. Yeah, I like
Yeah.
that. Okay. I like this one a lot. And I need to think about it all the time. And this would have helped me at the Kevin Hart thing when I had a panic attack, because really that was all about me being extremely self-centered and thinking that I am so important that anyone cares what I have to say. But it's hard not to feel that way when there are cameras on you and you're on a red carpet and there's microphones in your face. I will say that there is an illusion that people do give a fuck about what you have to say when that's all happening.
Yeah, it's
But
very
number
tricky.
10, people aren't thinking about you as much as you think.
Oh yeah, 100%.
You taught me that.
It's so upsetting.
No
really?
one gives a shit about anything you
It's
do.
upsetting when you realize how little people care about you.
I guess people care about what we say on this podcast because
The
it's like a
only
public
person that
broadcast.
this does not apply to, and I'm 100% sure of this, is Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
People are
Right.
thinking about her way just as much as she thinks.
Yeah.
We are. I am. But yeah, Noah, how did I teach you
So
this?
I guess I'm just interpreting it in like a much different way, and it's what we talked about yesterday with like the Glaser exit. And I just remember one time someone invited me to like a wedding, like a bachelorette party or something like that, and you were just like, and I just couldn't go. It was impossible for me to go, and I felt so terrible. And you said, "Do you think that she's going to be thinking about you being there or not on her bachelorette party? You think that's going to make or break the fun of the party?"
Yeah. Ugh,
And
harsh.
yeah, I guess like no, that she's
but
not
you
going
do
to be.
think that
Maybe
until
if she
you
finds joy in guilting people, then she might do it for fun.
and then you shouldn't go anyway. But yeah, that's a really good point. Like it sometimes to make my mom feel better, because she'll be like wearing an outfit where she's like, I don't know, this is too much skin showing, and I go, no one cares, no one's looking
Yeah.
at you,
Nobody.
no
Right.
offense, like no one. And she goes, that is so rude. She always gets really mad when I say that, and I'm trying to free her, and I don't realize what I'm telling her is that she doesn't matter, and that's not at all what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to be like, people aren't obsessed, people aren't trying to look for negatives about you.
Yeah, they
No.
see you, but they're not going to hone in on what you're pointing at right now.
Unless
Yeah,
it's unless
that's
it's
the same for me.
directly affecting them. Like if you stink or something and you're sitting on a plane next to them, or
Oh yeah, I had
then
her
they're
the other
thinking
day.
about you a lot. Or if you're being rude or something.
Man, I wasn't even close to doing it, but boy, did I fantasize the other day when I was sitting on a plane with Matt and Anya. They smelled it too. It was just the whole section of our plane just saying, hey, someone in this area needs to look into changing up your deodorant, showering more often, and cleaning your clothes. You smell really, really bad, and it's not a crime. We all smell bad, but you just need to update your hygiene, schedule. I just wanted to say that very kindly, just into because we didn't know who it was. It was
not
so
kind.
permeating there was no,
Yeah.
there was no way, there was no nucleus of it. It was everywhere. But who's going to tell that person?
Nobody.
Not you.
yeah.
That was kind of too I don't
This
know.
is
on the nose.
why bullying is a good thing sometimes. And because you do learn stuff about yourself in elementary school and middle school. When those kids are being mean, sometimes they're
Yes.
telling you something you need to hear.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so
Poppy will be
that
like, your
goes-
breath is bad. And I'm like,
Yeah.
why didn't anyone else tell me?
Yeah.
That goes back to what the list was saying about life not being too easy or things not being too easy
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that. That
It's a hard
difficulty, which seems like, oh my God, I never want my children to be bullied. I never want to be bullied. But it kind of gives you a little bit of
Yeah, David Beckham. I was watching a clip of him yesterday with James Corden, and they were talking about how his dad never said good job ever until he won his like 10th cup. I don't even know what that means. Literally his 10th cup, and his dad goes, "You did it." He had never once heard good game from his dad. "You played well today," ever. And his dad was like he was there for everything. And he said, and he was like, he has to spin it now to be grateful, even though I think that was so crazy. If you watch the Beckham documentary, his dad was just way too harsh. Did it make him incredible?
I
yes.
mean, it seems like
did
it worked.
Make him able to? So when the whole nation hated him, when people were spitting on him in the street and his teammates hated him and all these things, he said I could just put my head down and work because I already, the one person who was not giving me what I needed my whole entire childhood, I just had to make do with not caring what people thought, because if I cared even a little bit, the fact that my dad, he didn't say this, but the fact that his dad didn't give him the love that he needed was so devastating that it made him strong. And it absolutely made him who he is. But would I ever wish that on another kid? No. So it's kind of hard to determine what to do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And finally, we'll just go to the very end.
Okay.
Wait, let me find a good one. Right. Okay, number 28. Never criticize, blame, or complain.
Oh my God. Never?
Never.
I mean, I
Can
understand.
you think of anyone who doesn't do any of those? Can you, or
That's
even just a
insane.
person that doesn't do one of those?
I mean, you would be an insane
Criticize,
person.
blame, or complain. Never.
Never
I
criticize
am-
others.
Yeah.
Criticize, I'm getting better at. I really am.
Right. Like, I want to strive to be that kind of person,
Me too.
but I know that I'm imperfect and I will never
Complain?
achieve that.
Like criticizing your own work and things like that is the key to achieving greatness. So like you do need to criticize. He's saying criticize others.
Means though you're like disappointed and you're mad. Like you can be critical, but to criticize and like put yourself down is not, I don't think, helpful.
blame.
Blame or complain.
Nah.
I am getting better about the criticize thing. I was about to make fun of, I think I've stopped myself within the past week 7 different times from sending DMs to either Anya, you guys, or Chris, making fun of something that I am feeling slightly jealous of, or slightly like, they tried to do something that I would want to do, but they failed doing it. Let's make fun of them so that I don't ever have to do that, because I know that people will make fun of me in this way. So I've stopped myself from doing that so many times. I really invite other people to try, when you want to make fun of someone, if you really want to, you'll want to tomorrow. Just put it off till tomorrow. Okay. Just stop yourself in the moment. And if you really want to, do it the next day. And then you will have deserved it, because you will have sat on it and been like, no, I deserve to complain about this thing or bitch about this thing.
Yeah.
But just stop yourself in the moment of making fun of or criticizing things for 1 hour. It's so tough. I don't think I can do it. But I think that's an important one to leave on, because that's the one I want to work on the most.
It's satisfying. It's addictive to sit there and make fun of things, to criticize things. It feels good.
My new thing is not criticizing myself. Like, I just am not allowed to do it, even though I want to do it. And secretly, I know that I do it like kind of sneakily. Like, I think about it, but I don't like go into it too hard. I mean, I do, but like when I'm weakened, but most of the time when I'm like strong enough, I don't allow myself to do it, but I'm still like kind of thinking about it, but I just won't, I can't indulge in it as much as I want to. The Heidi Priebe, my new favorite girl on YouTube, I've talked about her before. She has this thing where she was like, you just have to have your own back. And so my new thing is looking at myself in the mirror and just being like, I got you. Like, no one else has you. You can't count on anyone else in your life. And that's not me being like, you can't count on anyone. You only have yourself. But you truly only have yourself. You literally are going to lose everyone you love in life. They're going to lose you. You only have yourself till the very end. So you can be disappointed in yourself. You can criticize yourself. You can feel all these things about yourself, but you can't give up on yourself. You always have to be like, yes, I don't like what you just did. Yes, I don't like how you look today. Yes, I'm disappointed in how you've behaved this week or how you behaved just now. But I'm still going to stay with you. I'm not going to check out. I'm not going to give up on you. And I feel like it's like being in a shitty marriage where you're like, I'm not going to give up on this, even though it's like I'm really upset and I want to get out and I want to abandon you. And I don't know like quite what that means yet to me, but it's something that's kind of stuck with me that isn't like love yourself. I hate the thing that's like, well, if you can't love yourself, accept yourself. I don't know the difference between those two. They aren't clicking for me. It doesn't help to hear that. What does help for me for some reason is you don't get to abandon yourself. You don't get to just check out and let yourself like a toddler just wander off into traffic. You still got to hold that toddler's hand even if you're disappointed. You don't know why you have this toddler. You're so sick of it. It's draining all your time. You don't even like the way it looks. You don't even like the way it acts. You're so disappointed in what you have. You have to hold that toddler's hand as it crosses the street, even if you're mad about it. And I kind of liked that imagery. Yeah, so I'm going to leave on that. Everyone have a great weekend. We are going to be on tour again. I'm into Rohnert City, I think. Rohnert Park, sorry. California. It's a casino. And then I am in Temecula.
That's not this weekend. That's next weekend.
Yeah, it's next weekend. This weekend I'm off, but then the next weekend it'll be Rohnert, California, and then Temecula. And then a bunch of different cities coming up. I'm going to be in LA doing spots all around town, so you check my schedule or just check my Instagram stories for that. But we will see you next week on the podcast. Don't even think we won't. Have a great weekend. Don't be cut, and bye.